Hi, I'm Jess Tadeo, Recycling Coordinator for Spartanburg County and Board Member for Keep One Spartanburg Beautiful. I'm going to be showing you how to do some crafts using materials from your own home, recycled products, in honor of America Recycles Day, a Keep America Beautiful program. This project is a bowl made out of magazine paper. It's suitable for older students like high school and adults, and it requires magazine paper, about 50 sheets, as well as tape, and something like Mod Podge or watered down Elmer's glue. For the magazine paper bowl, you're going to be making slats out of magazine paper. These are my slats right here. All right, so the first step is showing you how to make a slat. Take pages out of a magazine, use the same magazine, the same type of magazine. You don't want pages that are all different widths and lengths because that will affect how your bowl comes together. So try to use the same type of magazine to do this. And you want to fold your magazine paper. It doesn't matter if the edges that you rip out are rough. That doesn't matter at all. You're going to see why. You just fold your magazine paper in half lengthwise and then in half lengthwise on both of those sides. Like that, and then in half lengthwise again. All right, you're just going towards the center on each side, and then one more time. You're folding half lengthwise like that, and then fold it over your original fold, and you've made one slat. Keep going. When you get a magazine page like this, you want to make sure that you fold the interior towards the less vibrant side. That gives your bowl a little bit of interesting color. So if you're using a magazine that has a lot of text and a lot of white background that has vibrant ads, you're going to make sure that you get those ads folded to where the colorful part is facing outside. One fold, two folds, three folds into the center on each side. See that rough edge? Folds right into the middle. You don't ever have to worry if the paper's a little bit ripped when you pulled it out of the magazine. No big deal at all. All right, just fold it like that, and then in half again over my original fold. And you do that about 50 to 100 times, depending on how big you want your bowl to be. So that's tedious, but it is very much worth it. Now what? The easiest thing to do after you have a pile of slats is to begin taping the slats together. This is how you're going to do that. You take a piece of tape, like so, sticky side up. Take your first slat, lay it directly in the middle of the tape. Take your second slat, lay it directly in the middle of the tape, and fold the tape over. Do that for about 3 slats. Okay? Make sure that you keep the open ends next to each other and the closed ends next to each other. You don't want to mix open and closed together as you're taping. So I would do sets of 3. All right, now that you have all of your slats taped together, it's time to begin coiling your bowl. Coil. All right, I would highly recommend having some tape already pulled out to the side, because once you start coiling, it's going to be difficult to put it down. You don't have to do this, but it does make it a little bit easier. So I try to have some tape pulled off and put to the tape, like edges of the table, just kind of hanging out there waiting for me. All right. If you get really good at this, you don't have to use tape. You can actually use glue. That is a lot more time consuming, but it will make a much prettier and more professional decorative piece. All right, so remember all of your slats. You got your closed edges on one side, your open edges on the other. All right, and you start by coiling the paper on itself. You see it gets a little bulgy. When it gets a little bulgy, you just flatten it down. It is very important as you are coiling your slats that you do not put it down. Just use your hands to kind of help work it out smoothly. And as you get going, you get it started, it feels a little rough at first, but it'll pick up and it'll get smoother as it gets bigger. This is what the coil looks like. And once your slat is a little bit easier to maneuver, you're gonna start being able to take it all the way around, and it just starts folding in on itself. You wanna keep it tight. Now, this is paper. You can't really pull it tightly, but as long as you're just holding on to it and wrapping it, you're gonna be fine. You just don't want it to uncoil, because if it uncoils, then you gotta stop and do the whole thing over again. And when it's just 3 slats that you're coiling up, that's fine. But when it gets to be your, 29th slat, you're gonna be pretty upset if it just pops open, okay? Now, that's my first 3. Now it's time for my second 3. Remember, open ends, closed ends, all right? So I don't wanna stick this next slat on with my open ends next to the closed, but basically you're just taping it the same way that you did the rest of the slats. You're just adding a slat to a slat. That's why it helps to already have your tape ready. So what I would do is I get my tape piece here. Remember, just center my slat on the piece of tape, and then come in with my next slat, and then wrap it on up just like you did before. Okay? And then you just keep coiling. Just keep on making your coil. Now, what you may be able to see, is that this is not actually very tight at all. You can see gaps in it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold the center and pull just a little bit, not a lot, because remember, it's paper, and paper will actually tear. So, coiling it just a little. As you keep going, you can put it on the table and kind of spin it. It's a very interesting way to phrase that, but you kind of spin it, and that helps make it a little bit tighter as you keep going. Look, I'm at the end, so it's time. Grab my piece of tape, get ready. Remember, you do not want to let go of your coil. Keep your hand on it, keep holding it. As it gets bigger and bigger, if you need to put it down, you may find that it's helpful to wrap a rubber band around it to keep it in place. I've used binder clips to keep it in place. Anything so that you don't have to deal with it uncoiling on you and having to start over and re-wrap the thing. Right, see, taped again, and we just keep coiling. Now basically I'm just going to keep on doing this until this is all done, as I'm sure you can see. All right, we are at our last slat. Just like all the rest, we're gonna tape it, and tightness is very important on this last slat. So you can kind of use the push from the center and push it together just a little bit, spin it around, make sure that you're making it as tight as possible as you coil that final slat. When you get to the end, to keep it simple, if you start getting fancier, you might want to do something different. Keep it on the table, get a last piece of tape, and tape your last slat directly in place. Just make it right there, all right? Just that simple. If you get fancy, you might want to use glue for that last step. So here, I've had some people claim this was a wall hanging and think it was pretty as is, but in order to make your bowl, this is the difficult part. You are going to very slowly start pushing from the center and push out the sides to shape your bowl. You want to go around as evenly as possible. Try to make sure that you keep your thumbs kind of towards the center to ensure the stability of the bowl. If you push out too hard on any one side, it can pop, and if it pops apart, you're gonna have to start over from the beginning. There's really no turning back here. So be very careful as you shape your bowl. There you go. In order to preserve your bowl, all you need to do is take Mod Podge or Elmer's glue, watered down about 50-50 ratio, and paint it on the inside and the outside and let it sit for about a day. And then your bowl will be pretty sturdy and pretty preserved. Although probably not waterproof, I would not recommend eating a bowl of cereal out of it, but you can certainly use it for trinkets and for decor. If you want to be a perfectionist about it, which I am not, you might want to go in and look at little edges and use like some small scissors to trim off the little sections of tape that stick out or anything that doesn't look very pretty to your eye. But I am a big fan of beauty and imperfection. I think it's good enough. For more information about Spartanburg County's recycling program, visit spartanburgcounty.org. If you'd like to know more about the Keep One Spartanburg Beautiful affiliate, visit keepspartanburgbeautiful.org. Thank you.